Hi, everyone, hashtag B1 Less News and hashtag CDC Whistleblower. I'm here with a couple of my favorite, not to be confused with family members and other people that are my favorites in the world, and many, many who have worked on this project with us, like Marcella and Caroline and just tons and tons of people. Anyway, I'm going to get right to it. We were able to determine that Dr. Pan, if he had been in a court of law, would have been found as being, as perjuring himself, basically is what I would say. I'm here with Candace Estave, who's at CE Estave. I'm going to ask you to mute yourself, Candace, because I hear dogs barking, and I'm here with Timothy Welch, who's at Tanner's dad, and they're going to chime in whenever they think I need to reiterate something. But bottom line is, this is a cluster of epic proportions that's going on across the country, and ground zero is California with someone named Dr. Richard Pan. This meme right here is something that was produced and we found on Twitter back when the health hearing happened, and when Dr. Pan said there's no evidence to suggest that MMR is associated with, and then he listed a bunch of diseases. It was in a tweet, and we're going to get into all of that, but the reality is that the actual study, or it was really a review of literature, a review of studies, was tinyurl.com/Cochrane measles, and the conclusion was the design and reporting of safety outcomes in MMR vaccine studies, both pre- and post-marketing, are largely inadequate. That's the logical takeaway that he misled us on. So now let's look to what's really going on with all of this. He said the Institute of Medicine, which is part of the National Academy of Sciences, let's stop right there. One of the most important things you're going to realize with our government is they're constantly trying to play a shell game, and they're constantly trying to keep us away from the data. The Institute of Medicine is a non-profit, non-governmental organization. So let's go on with what he says. Part of the National Academy of Sciences. The National Academy of Sciences is a non-profit organization. So they're not accountable to us through FOIA requests like other branches of government are. And it's very important that we note this, and it's something that Kennedy has been trying to elucidate and educate people about, is that they're putting all of the data associated with vaccine and injuries into these third-party people so that we can't do a FOIA request and get our hands on it. So let's just go through this again. He's saying the Institute of Medicine and the National Academy of Sciences. And what he says is that the MMR does not cause autism. Vaccines are not related to SIDS or to immune dysfunction, and in fact, there is no evidence. Quote, there is no evidence of major safety concerns associated with adherence to the child immunization schedule. Well, let's go to what it really says. And again, nonprofit. Now we're going to get to this actual paper, which is called Safety in Vaccines Used for Routine Immunization in the United States. And let's get to the first key point, where it said, on May 2014, an important study investigating the timing of MMR was published. We felt the information warranted inclusion in the evidence. Okay, skip that. So this is, I knew this was going to be a little haphazard because we threw this away pretty quickly. So what I want you to go to here, this research is research conducted by the Southern California Evidence-Based Practice Center under the contract of the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. So let's go to what this really is. This is the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, which is the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. They contract with the Southern California Evidence-Based Practice Center, which is a RAND corporation. So these people doing the research, we cannot FOIA request the actual research. The RAND Corporation, so what our government does is $63 million, $52 million, 36, 33. These are state, so to the tune of billions of dollars, we pay a third party to the tune of billions of dollars to research our vaccines so that we can then not legally request the data on that information. It's about as messed up as it could possibly be. This explains how to do a FOIA request, but your 2 minutes of research will demonstrate that these third-party nonprofits that are being referenced for our laws to be changed are in fact not places where we can get actual information. This is what the study actually says in this report. Number one, it says that of the 20,000 titles that were identified, 166 were accepted for abstraction. So when he says the Institute of Medicine, there is no evidence of major safety concerns, this is with a nonprofit that is not our government agency, that we do not rule over, that took it upon themselves to eliminate 20,300 studies to focus on the 166. And despite that, still found that there was a high strength of evidence associated with measles, mumps, rubella vaccine for febrile seizures in children under 5. So let's move on. This is the abstracted version of this long report that is available at Vaccine Safety Report. This is the version that they share, where it says the IOM committee, and notice the difference in words. The IOM committee uncovered no evidence of major safety concerns associated with adherence to the childhood immunization schedule, compared to Pan's testimony, which is there is no evidence of major safety concerns. It's like I'm sitting here on my balcony with my eyes closed, covering my eyes and saying, there is no sign of sunshine on my balcony. Oh God, here I go. Damn, rein me back in. Okay, so this is a version that they used. Again, IOM committee uncovered no evidence. These words are crucial. So now let's go to the real results. This is on page VII, again, of this report, which is available at tinyurl.com/vaccine safety report. We're going to go back to VII, which is right here. Results. Again, of the 20,478, 166 were used. Now we're going to use the word SOE. SOE means strength of evidence. It says we were unable to pool results. We rated the overall strength of evidence as high, moderate, low, or insufficient by using guidelines suggested by the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. Again, a nonprofit, a research agency that we fund to the tune of billions of dollars so that we then can't do FOIA requests to get the information. So again, we have Dr. Pan saying publicly that there is no evidence of major safety concerns associated with adherence to the schedule. But then we go over here, and what we really see is SOE, or strength of evidence, was high for the following associations in non-pregnant adults: seasonal influenza vaccine, and arthralgia, myalgia, malaise, fever, pain at the injection site. For the H1N1, Guillain-Barré, there was a lack of association between influenza and pneumococcal vaccines. SOE was high for the following association in children and adolescents: measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, and febrile seizures in children under 5. Lack of association between MMR vaccine and autism spectrum disorders. Again, could it be the 20,000 studies that they simply eliminated varicella vaccine and disseminated OCA strain varicella zoster virus, meaning the chickenpox vaccine gave you chickenpox with associated complications, Complications mean meningitis and encephalitis, and oftentimes death is what you'll see in the VAERS data. In individuals with demonstrated immunodeficiencies, nobody's trying to demonstrate immunodeficiencies in these kids until after they've had these vaccines. There is moderate strength of evidence that vaccines against rotavirus are associated with insuspicion in children, which is just some general thing. Risk was estimated at 1 in 5 per 100,000 vaccine doses, depending on brand. Moderate strength evidence exists regarding human papillomavirus vaccine and a lack of association with conclusion. There is evidence that some vaccines are associated with serious adverse events. However, these events are extremely rare and must be weighed against the protective benefits that vaccines provide. Did you hear Dr. Pan say that conclusion? There is evidence that some vaccines are associated with serious adverse events? Nope, I didn't hear him say it either. So now let's go on to him talking about the Cochrane collaboration. In addition, the Cochrane collaboration, which is a global independent network of health experts that analyzes this research for evidence-based medicine, this is quoting him, did a study where they examined 5 randomized controlled trials, 1 controlled clinical trial, 27 cohort studies, 17 case-controlled studies, 5 time series trials, 1 case crossover trial, 2 ecological studies, 6 self-controlled case series studies involving almost 14,700,000 children in assessing the safety and efficacy of the MMR vaccine, and showed that there is no scientific evidence that suggests that the MMR is associated with autism, blah, 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 right? And these findings are also supported by these other organizations. So let's look at little Mr. Pan, Dr. Pan. He's quoting, there is no scientific evidence to suggest from this article. This is a blog that somebody out of Alberta, Canada is pretending to be part of the Cochrane collaboration by quoting parts of what they're doing that, from what we can tell, are simply completely unaffiliated with the Cochrane collaboration. This is a Cochrane collaboration. And what they say here is with the measles, mumps, rubella, you go down to here, they do say we can assess no significant association between MMR immunization and the following conditions: autism, asthma, leukemia, hay fever, type 1 diabetes, gait disturbance, Crohn's, demyelinating bacterial and viral infections. The methodological quality of many of the included studies made it difficult to generalize their results. Conclusion: the design and reporting of safety outcomes in MMR vaccine studies, both pre- and post-marketing, are largely inadequate. That's what the Cochrane collaboration says. So then if we go here, we're going to, another thing that he says point blank is that the only thing that's done more than vaccines is water. There's a meme we found that says, where's the water? Tiny URL. So let's go here. He also says at, I don't know which minute mark, there are no deaths. Let's go here. All over the board, sorry. What does he say? There are no deaths associated with the measles vaccine. Somewhere in here, there's no deaths, right? So we're going to go right here, and we're going to put just one form of the measles vaccine. And we're going to, what are we going to do? Somewhere we put in process data. Process data. I need 5 more minutes. Find. Let's do that. See if it'll find us, and it's going to tell us count, years, age, 67,000 adverse reports. Where's the death toll? Unknown. Okay, I screwed up there. Bottom line is, this is a group called No on #SB277 video production. I'm only going to leave it open for a short while for some of our key video people to come in here. We're time-stamping all of the key testimony because the testimony that they gave at these hearings is perjury. It's misleading, and it should be the end of Dr. Pan's political career, period. So we're putting all the information in one place, and this is the meme that goes into all of it, but it all goes down to the money. Tim or Candace, anything to say? Hello?
We need to be diligent. We need to dig deeper.
And we definitely have people that are digging on the money side, and we've got that part handled, the money side, the nonprofits, all that stuff. What we need are people to be able to take these sound bites of when, like Dr. Pan, let's just play a little bit.
Vaccines are safe and efficacious. The Institute of Medicine, which is part of the National Academy of Sciences, examined the research.
Can't hear it.
In fact, I have copies of the reports here. And basically
Okay, he's talking about the Institute of Medicine and that other organization, the National Academy of Sciences, and he is misleading the state of California into believing that those are government agencies. Timothy, do you have anything to say? Timothy, unmute.
It's hard to even get words out how frustrating it is where a elected official stands up in front of a committee and just lies to them. That's so obvious for citizen journalists to see and to dig out. Yes, we would like the Freedom of Information Act. Yes, we would like transparency. Yes, we would like to have our day in court and get discovery, but it shouldn't have to go that far. We should be as angry as they are in Baltimore over what they're doing to all the children in the world.
Well, and what's happening now is people are getting angrier than they are anywhere else. I mean, I have never seen parents as angry as they are over this particular issue of how they are being misled and lied to and all this other stuff. And like I taught my children are crazy smart, imagine. And they were smart enough to figure out that they could lie without lying, meaning the words that they would use would technically not be a lie, and I finally explained to them, look, lying is the intent to mislead. If your intention is to mislead, then that is a lie. Whether or not you said, I didn't have sex with that woman like Bill Clinton, and technically you could find some accuracy in his statement, but the blue dress spoke to otherwise, but it's the intention to mislead. Dr. Richard Pan had the clear intention to mislead, or he is the single most misguided, unread, non-researched control freak on the planet. But either way, it's a huge problem. So I want all of our video makers, Kelly, Andrea, Joshua, people who can do this, we need to start going to this, which is tinyurl.com/SB277education. The other one's SB277health, SB277 judiciary. Pull up the quotes, and then we can find you in this group all the data that shows how inappropriate what he's saying is and how he's trying to mislead the public. Candace,
Dana,
yeah.
Let's just take this in for a second. The Institute of Medicine is not a government agency. It's a non-profit. Take that in. How many people knew that?
I didn't know it until, here's how I figured it out, and this is when I went radio silent in our 2-hour prep for this, was I was going through all the testimony. I was time stamping all the testimony, right? And when he said the Institute of Medicine, which is an arm of the National Academy, I Wikipedia Google searched it, and when it said it was a nonprofit, I was like, oh my God, I think that means the Institute of Medicine is a nonprofit, which it is, and it's just a slippery slope from there down the path of we are funneling all of our money through these nonprofits that are then able to do things that would otherwise be illegal if they were government entities.
But they are taking our tax dollars. Our government is funding them.
Oh my God, look at this amount, 61.2 we're over $2 billion just in the ones that they're admitting to right here, directly to the Rand Corporation that's directly researching. They're the ones who are the Southern California Evidence-Based Practice Center. Bottom line is Southern California is ground zero for corruption in our federal government is what it's looking like to me. Okay, love you guys. See you on Twitter. So we will see you on the group No on SB277 video production. Thanks, bye.